prison.
Damn! 450 years in prison?
Manipulative and sinister individual who's a huge threat to the outside world and even a menace behind bars. This is the story of Nico Jenkins, one of the scariest inmates to have ever lived. Years ago, Nico went viral all over the internet for his intimidating look and gained an online reputation of killing whoever looks at him. But how much of that is actually true?
See? That's why you don't go to jail. You look at a nigga, you die.
And what crazy thing has he done to be locked away for 450 years? Nico's always had a troubled life. From a young age, he was a witness and victim of many traumatic experiences. I mean, just take a look at this guy's lineage. His family has wreaked havoc in Omaha for generations. Anyways, needless to say, 7 of
They
his
done brought out the whole family tree from the 18, 17, 16, 15s, 14s. Shit, BC.
members like his mother, father, 3 sisters, uncle, and cousin are all felons. We'll get to what role all of them played in this soon, but just know that the worst of them all is Nico. Constantly revisiting juvie and mental facilities, he was never able to control himself. At the age of 7, he brought a loaded .25 caliber handgun to his elementary school. And when he turned 11, he stopped regularly attending classes and was kicked out of group homes for getting into fights with everyone. Oh, and by the time he was 13, he pretty much got a taste of what it was like to stab someone.
13?
When I was 13, I didn't even know how to cut an apple. Anyways, Nico got involved with gangs very early on, and in 2003, at the young age of 15, he was sent to prison for 2 armed carjackings. During his time behind bars, he continued causing problems, and the court slapped on 2 extra charges. One for attacking a guard, and the other for inciting a prison riot. But next decision the judge made changed the course of many people's lives for the worst. Because instead of those additional sentences running consecutively, the courts ordered them to run concurrently. Which meant he received no additional time and only served his 10.5 years in prison. Fast forward to 2013, he was finally released. And instead of learning his lesson and reforming, he went on an absolute killing spree. I mean, seriously, this guy just doesn't stop. And a lot of this could have been avoided if the judge didn't implement the sentences like that. 11 days after becoming a free man, Nico shot and killed 2 random people, Juan Peña and Jorge Ruiz. But the real kicker here is that he did it with the help of his cousin and sister, using his family in order to lure the 2 men to the location. Both individuals were shot in the head and their wallets were stolen. Damn. Now, it doesn't stop there, cause
just random though, randoms. The man's is sick.
He shot and murdered one of his old prison buddies, Curtis Bradford. What's weird is that a day prior to the incident, these 2 took a picture together. It's like, you can't even trust your own friends anymore. Anyways, the motive was simple. Nico's sister believed Curtis's friends were responsible for shooting up their house 6 months prior. So the siblings set up a trap for Curtis and lured him under the impression that they were gonna rob someone else. But instead, it turned out to be a hit on him. A couple of days go by and Nico's back at it again. This time pulling over a random SUV and shooting a woman 4 times. The victim was a mother of 3 by the name of Andrea Kruger. And once again, a member of his family was involved. This time it was his uncle Warren Leverick. So we have his sisters, cousins.
Bro, the whole family is insane. Do not let these guys out. Judge, please, I am scared. I'm scared.
And now uncle who assisted him with the murder. But there was actually one more person. His mother, Lori Jenkins. She was the one who bought him the ammo in the first place and knew about everything that happened. Not too long after, Nico was finally arrested due to an unrelated threats charge. And as investigators put 2 and 2 together, they realized that the murders were all linked to him.
I got you.
What do you mean about you?
I got your DNA at the murder scene. I got your DNA in the car.
Sir.
I got the weapon. I got Nico Jenkins.
Now, just because he was taken off the streets doesn't mean it was over, because he quickly began his tirades behind bars. In an 8-hour interrogation, Nico confessed to all 4 of the murders. claiming it was just a sacrifice for the Egyptian serpent god Apophis.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
apparently the serpent spoke to him and told him to do all of that. The courts were trying to pass a death sentence onto Nico, but while in prison, he got his hands on a razor and carved Satan into his forehead, then split his tongue in half to resemble a snake. And the most insane thing he did was use a guard's badge to destroy his... Yeah, he was trying to make his dick look like a serpent. Anyways,
I see why they gave that man 450 years. Yeah, do not let him out.
his actions raised eyebrows as it made him seem insane, cause no one in the right mind would do something like that. The judge questioned the warden at the prison about how Jenkins even got the razor in the first place. The warden stated that he did it,
and it was a badge.
and said he couldn't guarantee it would happen again. I mean, it's a known fact that inmates always smuggle things into prison and have access to a lot of stuff they shouldn't. But you're telling me that they couldn't even stop a man that was in solitary confinement for 23 hours of the day while he was being checked up on every 15 minutes by a guard and had a camera placed in his cell? Not to mention he wasn't allowed to interact with other prisoners. On one other occasion, he even managed to grab a set of 7 handcuff keys and swallow them. Just taking one look at this guy and hearing about the stuff he did while knowing about his family and past, it's easy to assume that the justice and health system failed him. But we're gonna pull a reverse Uno card here. Cause you see, after being evaluated by multiple state psychiatrists, they all came to a conclusion that Nico was just faking his mental problems. Despite his barbaric behavior, they believed that he was
The man is just insane.
extremely cunning and knew very well that if he was deemed insane or incompetent, then he could get away from his death penalty and be placed in a psych ward instead. The man was essentially fighting for his life at that point. And due to these circumstances, the court cases were delayed and there was a brief period of time where it looked like Nico was about to escape from his ultimate punishment.
Not fit to face the death penalty. A ruling today changes the next step in the case of convicted killer Nico Jenkins. The death penalty is not a sentencing option tonight for the man convicted of killing 4 people in Omaha.
However, in May of 2017, a panel of 3 judges had to make the final decision. The only way this death penalty could be implemented was if all 3 judges agreed unanimously to the death sentence.
Therefore, this panel finds that the death penalty is appropriate, should be, and is hereby given for each of the 4 murders by the defendant.
It was finally official. After many years of terror, one of the most cold-blooded criminals was finally getting what he deserved. Now, even if he didn't get the death penalty, he would still have to serve 450 years in prison. And with that being said, I know this video was a heavy one, so what are your thoughts on Nico Jenkins as a whole and his entire story? Let me know in the comment sections below. I have a lot more crazy videos similar to this one, so make sure to check those out as well and subscribe with the bell notifications turned on. Smash the like button, it only takes a second and it really does help out the channel. As always, I love you beautiful people so much and I'll see you guys next Saturday.
Bro, the man's used a police badge to slice his stuff in half, G. To make it look like a damn snake, G. Hey, you look at a nigga, you look at somebody outside, it's possible you get your head blown off. I'ma just stay home. When I gotta go to the grocery store, I'ma just Instacart that hoe. Shit.